for tonight's pre-season friendly between the Newcastle Eagles, now sponsored by Give to Local, and the Sheffield Sharks. Unfortunately, as we know, this game was hopefully was going to be a pilot game with allowed spectators in, but the COVID virus unfortunately struck again, and we've had to go behind closed doors. We have been able to manage to set up a live stream, and hopefully the pyrotechnics and everything will work, and we can have a good game, and we can follow it through. As ever, I've got Dave Aldican alongside me, although on my left-hand side instead of my right-hand side. He's normally my right-hand man, but he's my left-hand man.
Just one of these COVID rules, yeah.
Yeah, is that what it is, yeah. And we are socially distanced, I must admit. And it is very strange, though, Dave, isn't it, sitting in this arena and seeing two professional teams warming up but no fans here.
Well, it is, and it's also strange when you think back that we were covering games regularly, and then suddenly, without any warning at all, the season was taken for us. I mean, for the Eagles, it did end on a happy note in terms they brought a trophy back from Glasgow, and I guess as a result of that and probably his performance during the season, it's good to see that they've made young Ian McLeod the coach for the season.
Yeah, I think that's a good step in the right direction for as far as the Eagles are concerned. And the other thing as well about that as well, I know Ian was involved in helping recruit the team last season, but this very much is a team that he wanted to put together. He still spoke to Dave Forrester, who has been no step down now from assistant coach's duty, which is something I'm going to come to you in a minute about. But, this is very much a side that Ian's put together with his, whereas Fab would have had the final say last year, even though Fab in the end left. This is definitely Ian's side sort of thing, and we will run through the side as we go through. But just on the word of it, obviously Dave Forrester did a fantastic job for the Eagles as an assistant coach, and in his legacy, he's left a heck of a legacy and a pair of shoes to fill. But I understand you know the shoes of the person who has filled, Mark Elderkin.
Yeah, I do. I've known him for quite a long time. Obviously, he's played at the BBL level. His last stepping out on a court was with Team Newcastle in NBL Division 1. He took over the reins there last year, and of course it became part of the Eagles setup once that Northumbria pulled their team from it. So there's a strong link there, and he's worked together with Ian McLeod over the summer, and it's good to see that two of these players, Themba and I think is it Sean Murphy, Sean Murphy will be playing regular minutes with Mark. And obviously, just like you, I'd like to pay my tribute to Dave Forrester. What a fantastic servant, and I'm sure he'll still be around. And he's found a way to get into the building tonight, so nothing's going to keep Dave away. Well, but in terms of the game, Jeff, obviously 5 new players for the Eagles, although we are very familiar with the game of Lewis Sayers. And last September, just going back to last season, I remember we both sat together and we watched Worcester Wolves in a pre-season game. Matt Newby said to me before the game, he said, watch out for this guy, Cortez Edwards. After the match, I said to Mark, you've got a real find there, and it's tremendous that the Eagles have been able to bring him to this programme. So it'll be interesting to see how he pairs in the backcourt with Ramon Fletcher. There's some big shoes to fill, obviously, in the departure of Paul Getty, but they seem to have got a replacement in the making with the 6'10" guy they brought in, Evan Maxwell, so I hope that works out for them. Big shoes to fill, but he's got a very veteran partner to play alongside of him in Darius Defoe. And I think, therefore, the interesting thing will be to see how these two forwards work out. Obviously, Justin Gordon and Rex Plug. Now, the huge advantage of Rex is that he'll come with a lot of knowledge about the club, because I'm sure Scott Martin will have had a role to play in this, but of course he's got that UK passport.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking on the Sheffield side, obviously, as well, and they've got sort of 3 new guys, 4 new guys, but one who's not really a new guy at the BBL, but of a strange switch from Manchester, Callum Jones coming in. That was a big surprise to me. I did speak to Danny Byrne during the close season, and he did explain to me reasons that he felt Manchester needed to go in a different direction. But luckily, Callum has picked up a club in Sheffield, and he's a fantastic boost to the Sheffield roster. And they've got a couple of new forwards as well in Kipper Nichols and Antoine Lillard. Who we obviously don't know a great deal about, so we'll have to be interested to see how they go, because their top scorer last year was Connor Cashaw, and he's actually signed for Surrey, so That'll be an interesting one. But we'll try and give you a bit more information as we go through. Eagles starting 5 is, well, there you go. I mean, straight in for the new guys. So you got number 0, Rex Pfluger. Number 2, Evan Maxwell. Number 6, Cortez Edwards. Number 24, Justin Gordon. And number 44, Ramon Fletcher. For Sheffield, the excellent Mackie Mackay's back to lead them at number 12. They've also got number 7, Kipper Nichols. Number 13, Bennett Koch, who obviously was here last year and had a really good season. Number 4, Antoine Lillard.
Nick Lewis starting?
Yes, and Nick Lewis, yes, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think you mentioned Callan Goins there, and I think that, big boost for the Sharks that they're able to bring Mackie McKnight back to run the point for them. He played a lot of minutes with Lewis last year, so it'll be interesting to see how Callum fits into that rotation.
Ball is up.
Cork Marsden were here last year, and obviously took in his many 12th season. So I think all eyes at Sheffield. You always look forward with keen anticipation to see how your new Americans are going to be, and I think they'll be a big part of how well the Sharks do this year.
Yes, Mackay into Koch, guarded by Maxwell. It's going to be a foul given on Maxwell, I believe. Yep, on the arm. As Koch tried to turn the corner. Welcome to the BBL, Evan Maxwell. 19 seconds in, first foul.
Not how you want to start the first quarter, especially just within the first 20 seconds.
Trying to put the ball in.
Sharks might be thinking already about getting that ball into Koch. See how he goes against Maxwell.
Lillard trying to get the ball into Nichols. Ball bounced off the legs of Cortez Edwards. Ball's out of play. Sheffield ball, sideline. Mackie Mackay, as always. Put the ball in, guarded by Ramon Fletcher. These two know an awful lot about each other. Eagles and Sheffield actually met 5 times last year, with Sheffield winning 4 of them. Lewis's shot is well off. Foul is on Antoine Lillard, pushing off.
Well, not the way you want a pre-season start. Oh, this is not going to be the way the whistle's going to be blown for this game. I mean, I thought Maxwell was probably fouling more there than he did in the first bit. Got away with that one.
Gordon to Edwards. Edwards turns the corner. Maxwell to shoot the 3. That's off. Great rebound by Rex Pfluger. Leans back, can't make the jump shot. Good rebound, a very good aggressive rebound.
Great rebound. He did everything right, but apart from his touch on the shot.
Another foul on the Eagles. Justin Gordon picking up his first foul. A smile about it, because I think it was a bit of a battle inside there. 3 fouls in the first minute of the game. Keep this kind of pace up, we're going to be... the benches are certainly going to get a run out.
We'll be at the free throw line within the first 2 minutes of this quarter.
McKnight to put it in to Lewis. Lewis looking for McKnight again. McKnight coming out to take the ball off him. Gives it to Koch. There's Lillard. Shakes, bakes, tries to... Lewis going at the basket, and there's another foul on the Eagles. Foul was on 44, I think, Ramon Fletcher, or 24. Basket was good for Nick Lewis. He'll go up the line for an extra shot. Foul was indeed on Ramon Fletcher. Yeah. Lewis to the line for the extra shot. Makes the free throw, and that's the first points of the season. 3 points to Nick Lewis, with courtesy of an and 1. It's Gordon finds Pfluger. Cortez Edwards back to Gordon. Eagles moving the ball around quickly. Edwards comes inside, up for 2. And yet another foul called. Second foul on Antoine Lillard. He will come off, and he will be replaced by Number 6, Callum Jones. So Callum, obviously a long-time Manchester player, now gone across to the White Rose County of Yorkshire and Sheffield. He comes
Well,
on to replace Liddell.
I have to say, Jeff, and not trying to be too controversial here, but having watched a load of basketball in the last few weeks from these bubbles across the Atlantic, and how physical the game's getting, but the referees know what to let go. This is just not the way we want to see a pre-season friendly call at the start of the season.
And there's another foul. As Fletcher drove along the foul was on Kipper Nichols. Flugler inbound for Newcastle. To Edwards. Back to Maxwell. He gives it back to Edwards. Looked inside. Fade away 2 is good. Cortez Edwards opens his Eagles account.
Great control on that drift, and he knew he had no option to kick off, so it was a really nice soft touch on the short jumper.
Callum Jones taking the ball over. He gives it to Nichols, drives the baseline, tries to find Cock inside, couldn't make it. Eagles defence come up with the ball. Flugler is going to shoot the 3. That one's just off. Rebound by Nichols. Gives it to McKnight. McKnight looking around, trying to set up a play. He gives it to Kipper Nichols. Callum Jones goes to the basket. Nichols ignores it, goes back to Cock. Good defence so far from the Eagles. McKnight trying to get through, and he does get through. Up and under, but he can't make the shot, and Gordon takes the rebound.
Great outlet pass.
Straight away to Cortez Edwards. Cortez Edwards doesn't make it. Left-handed layup, just comes off the rim. Here's Lewis. Dangerous Nick Lewis. Bennett Cock. Good cut by McKnight, but Eagles just closed the door. Jones to Lewis. Lewis is going to drive inside. Up with a floater, and in it goes. 5 points for Sheffield, 5 points for Nick Lewis. 6:48 to go in the first quarter. Ramon Fletcher. Don't see much of Fletcher yet. Oh, there's a typical Fletcher move. Fantastic move. Turn and spin in the left-handed layup. In it goes, and it's 5-4 to Sheffield.
He must have heard you, Jeff. Just those words came out. Not seeing much of Fletcher. Great spin move.
Yep, Fletcher's back. Here's McKnight. Good screen by Cock. Jones drives in. That's going to be a foul on Flugler. That foul will put Eagles in the penalty the next time. McKnight for the end line. Lewis turns the corner. Into Cock. He's guarded by Maxwell. I think he'll go up Maxwell. Yep. Does go up Maxwell. Doesn't make it though. Did spin round Maxwell well, but he didn't make the layup. Maxwell thought about the 3. He's driving in. Back out to Flugler. Nice bounce pass along. Nice drive by Rex Flugler. Drive along the baseline and a nice lane.
A good fake. Really good head fake there to lose the defender. And pretty strong move to the basket. That's encouraging to see this early in the game.
Gives the Eagles a first lead of the night at 6-5. Lewis up for 2 and in for 2. Lewis has scored all 7 of Sheffield's points so far. Long ball from Fletcher, great assist. Great outlet run by Justin Gordon, and he lays his first points in for the Eagles. This Eagles side looks as if it's going to play a very quick transition from defense to offense. Eagles warming up 2 substitutes. Another steal from the Eagles there. Cortez Edwards, is he going to go to the basket? He is. And he's fouled by number 7, Kipper Nichols.
Well, I like the way the Eagles are playing their half-court offense. I like the movement, a lot of movement off the ball, which is going to create some good chances both inside and outside. They're certainly getting the heads up to look for the quick break. That's 3, if not 4, of the last 5 offenses have been emphasising on the break. And the other thing to note is I think the Eagles are doing a pretty good job on defence. Lewis is 7, and all 7 points have come from an individual effort because the Eagles have not given them one really good look at the basket, apart from maybe that spin that Cock missed.
So multiple substitutions with Sayers, Louis Sayers, Darius Defoe, and Drew Lasker coming on for the Eagles with Ramon Fletcher, Justin Gordon, and Evan Maxwell taking a seat. Cortez Edwards missed the first free throw, makes the second. Eagles lead by 2. Sheffield have also brought on Rob Marsden, Oscar Baldwin as well. Still no Mike Tuck for Sheffield yet. Louis Sayers gets away with one, I think, there in the paint. McKnight turns the corner, pushing on Edwards. That's great hands by Eagles. Sayers it was who came up with a steal. Flugler, Defoe for 2. His first contribution of the game is to knock down 2, and Eagles lead by 4 to 11-7. 4:39 to go.
There's Darius there throwing the true value of a stretch 4, Jeff.
Yeah. I think he may have took an extra step as well, Dave, but I'm going to... Here's Lewis for 3. That one's off. Cortez Edwards up for the rebound, but he's thrown that one away. Picked back up by Lewis. Lewis goes for 3, and he makes a 3. Certainly not shy of shooting, is he, Nick Lewis?
Well, I said before that, Sheffield's teamwork's pretty good. I mean, the team has always got his teams well organised offensively, but at the end, it is down to the individual effort of one player that's keeping them in the game right now.
Nick Lewis averaged 15.1 points a game last season. He's got 10 already. Oh, lovely move from Edwards. Really nice move from Edwards, and he reverse lay him for 2. Takes them Eagles to 13-10 lead.
Yeah, it was good to see he got a friend. He deserved that friendly drop because it was an excellent move.
And again, Eagles get hands in. Drew Lasker comes up with a steal. 38-year-old now, Drew Lasker, I'm sure. Louis Sayers for 3, and it goes. Louis Sayers' first shot for the Eagles is a 3-point shot, and that increases our lead to 16-10, and that's enough for the team alliance to call a timeout.
Yeah, I mean, let's focus on the player who made the last shot, Louis Sayers. I mean, I've often seen him have games against the Eagles and other games I've maybe seen if I've been on the road or on TV, and he always looks as though he's a good 3-point threat. But I've seen lots of games where he's got that wide open shot and he just simply doesn't take it. I mean, maybe McLeod's giving him the green light and saying, look, I believe you can be a good 3-point shooter. Let's see you do that, because that's really going to stretch the defence and give the big guy a chance to get working inside on this Sheffield defence.
I think so far we've seen, obviously, the talent of Nick Lewis for Sheffield with Mackie McKnight trying to set things up. Unfortunately, the Antoine Lillard in early foul troubles had to take a seat. Kipper Nichols has been active on the boards. For the Eagles, Edwards has 5. So yes, that 3, Darius Defoe 2, and Rex Pfluger 2. And just looking at Rex Pfluger, he's got 2 assists already as well and 1 rebound. And this is one of the things that, coming from Notre Dame, obviously is one of those universities which encourages team play. And he was always considered to be a real team player, actually captain in his senior year, and played more games for Notre Dame than anybody else in their history. So there's quite a pedigree that, Dave.
It's a good school, and also when you look at Justin Gordon, Wofford, that's a good programme as well. Guys from there are well coached, have a good understanding and knowledge of the game. I mean, that was a good little spell for the Eagles when you consider that they switched 3 for 3 and they've made more substitutions here. Obviously, quite right for Coach McLeod to try and have a look at as many minutes for all of the players as he can at this time of the season.
Interesting to see that Oscar Baldwin out on the court, fairly recent signing. He's going to try a 3 here. It's off, and Drew Lasker gets up and takes the rebound. Defoe for 2 from the top of the key. 2 more for Darius Defoe. Eagles power into an 18-10 lead. 3:08 left in the first quarter. There's Rob Marsden trying to reply for Sheffield. Callum Jones, Mackie McKnight, Eddie Matthew on the court the first time. He's defending on, and CS comes across and blocks it, but I think the foul will be on Matthew. Yeah, 16 was the foul. As Rex Pfluger takes a break, Evan Maxwell comes back on. I think we've got a substitution on the shooter as well, Mackie McKnight, who was fouled there. Obviously, Eagles winning the penalty. McKnight goes to the line, makes the first, I think he's a 90% free throw shooter last season as well, Dave, and certainly not one man you don't want to put on the line. Makes them both, and as I thought, we'll take a seat. And the guy coming on is Jody Campbell, who people might remember started the season at Cheshire last year. Didn't last very long at Cheshire and dropped down into NBL Division 1 with Derby Trailblazers and averaged 13.7 points a game for them, so did really well. There's Maxwell going to work inside on Cock. Nice right-handed layup. His first points.
I think that's Baldwin who was defending him, Jeff. The
Yeah,
switch,
Baldwin,
yeah.
Right, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's good to see that the Sharks are promoting key people from their under-18s into the program in the same way that the Eagles have given some of their younger players a chance.
Callum Jones turns down the shot. Baldwin's going to take the shot. That goes off. Maxwell with a big rebound. Eagles off and running. Lasker gets away with one there. Puts his hand up to acknowledge the fact. I think it was a big travel, but it missed Sears to Defoe. Defoe will go at Baldwin. Up, and that's short. Rob Mawson takes the rebound.
Yeah, that
Jones.
Number 21 for the Eagles, not bad, is it, for somebody who's in 16 seasons in this league? Always brings a lot of energy to the game.
Callum Jones, that's just off. That's going to be a foul, I think, on Rob Mawson, pushing off. Yep. If I call a foul, I think that means it is a foul. I tend not to call many, but that one looked pretty obvious to me. Rob Mawson going for the rebound.
Yeah, that's the difference between you and me. I would have let that go because I thought they were fouling each other.
Rob Mawson always puts in a good shift for Sheffield.
Yeah,
in his
definitely
fourth consecutive season with Sheffield and averaged nearly 11 points a game and 6 rebounds a game.
Yeah, always gives you a good shift. One of the most underrated players in the league.
Defoe on the line because both teams in the penalty. Defoe makes the first one. And Defoe makes both free throws. Darius Defoe off to a good start. Eagles up to a 10-point lead, 22-12. Interesting to know. I don't know how often Sheffield have trained. I know the Eagles have trained the last 2 or 3 days, so they've managed to get they got all the guys in on Monday. So I think they started training Tuesday, and I think they even trained this morning. Mawson going to the basket. That's going to be a foul on Darius Defoe. Timeout called by Coach McLeod. Eagles coming back to the bench, led by Eddie the Pirate, rather than Eddie the Eagle. Obviously, lockdown's decided he's not going to have a growing the beard and let the hair go. Not quite as interesting as Rex Pfluger's hairstyle, Dave. You don't often see people with dyed blonde hair. I'm liking the timeouts, Dave, as well. The socially distant timeout. McLeod sitting there. He's 5 on the seats, and the rest of them behind him.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think Coach McLeod will be quite pleased. He's getting a lot of movement out of the team off the ball in offence, which sometimes we've been a little bit critical about in past seasons. But I think that they've got some good motion there. I think they've certainly played the tougher defence of the two teams, and one of the testaments to that is it Lewis has got 11 of those 12 points, and every single one was from individual efforts. And Sheffield are not finding it easy at all to penetrate the basket, and once they've penetrated, they're not finding it easy to finish in the key. Of course, we have to realise, as you've said, these because of the COVID situation, these teams will only have got together late. The season's still another couple of weeks away, if everything goes to plan. Yeah. Pretty much. I think all the teams will be in the same boat, although I hear London have got together quite early.
Well, obviously we're playing in the European Champions qualifiers. Rob Mawson missed the first. So yeah, it is interesting. I think when this game was originally planned to be a pilot game, you could see the benefits of that. And I think both teams had trained for the game, so when unfortunately the COVID situation meant we couldn't have fans, I think both coaches were still keen to play the game, and you know, we are really doing well to observe the social distancing. Darius Defoe trying to get the ball into Maxwell.
Yeah, good idea. Reverse the ball with Maxwell trying to seal his man inside. Just unfortunately, Darius put a little bit too much weight on the pass. But again, a good example of the Eagles looking no fast break on, but looking for secondary offense very early when they've taken possession of the ball.
And again, Darius Defoe and Evan Maxwell on the court together at the same time. So good defense from Eddie Matthews. Nick Lewis slips. Ball goes out of bounds. Inside the first minute of the first quarter, I think that's going to be a foul call.
I think listening from the noise coming from the Sheffield bench there, we can assume they did not agree with that call.
Well, it was a foul given on Jody Campbell. It did appear as if Lascar possibly had lost his footing before he hit Campbell, but it's not the way referee. And the T-Ball Lions has carried his protest on that Dave was saying he could hear, wasn't happy about it. He's carried it on and he's been given a technical foul. So if anybody thought it was just going to be a nice friendly pre-season friendly, there you go. You have to have a modicum of sympathy, I think, for the T-Ball Lions there, because it did look as if Lasker had lost his footing before he was possibly fouled. But that's why we sit in the stands and we don't referee. So there was going to be 2 shots for the Eagles anyway. So I'm assuming those 2 shots will still come first and then they'll get one more for the technical.
Yeah.
Lasker makes the first of his free throws. We'll give you a run-up of the stats at the end of every quarter. And if you're watching the game after the first quarter, you then can keep your own stats. Oh, didn't get the friendly roll. It was Drew Lasker who actually took the technical free throw, and these are the 2 shots for the foul. Missed the first, makes the second. Eagles up 24-12. 50 seconds to go in the quarter. Callum Jones brings the ball over the halfway line. Bumps into Rob Marsden. Good defense by Matthew on Lewis, but Jones almost penetrates the basket. Campbell for 3. Nice shot from Campbell. Good quick release. Knocks down the 3. Very, very quick catch and shoot. Lasker now brings the ball forward for the Eagles. Maxwell sets the screen. Defoe looking inside for Maxwell, but Maxwell not there. Matthew will shoot the 3. That one's off. Marsden takes the rebound. Sharks the chance to close the gap. Are they going to hold for the last shot? Well, not when Nick Lewis has got the ball. He'll shoot the ball as soon as he gets it, and he makes it. Just 3 seconds left for the Eagles. I think they're just going to hold it and let the clock run out. So, quick 2 threes shot there at the end for Sheffield. That closed the gap right back down to 6 points, Dave.
Yeah, from the Eagles' point of view, been impressed with probably a little bit of a addition to the philosophy in offense. I think they're moving the ball really well. To move the ball really well, you've got to have people who are prepared to work without the ball, and that's certainly been in evidence tonight. I like the way that they're trying to get, if they can't get a clear fast break on, they're looking very quickly for the secondary transition. And I think that they've done a really good job on defence. And without those individual efforts from Lewis, this would be a very, very big deficit to take forward to the second quarter.
So just looking down the score chart for the Eagles, Darius Defoe has 6 points. Cortez Edwards has 5 points. But I think probably the most impressive thing for the Eagles is the fact that they have got actually 8 people on the score chart already. And as Dave's already mentioned, for Sheffield, who have scored 18 points, 13 of them have come from Nick Lewis, 3 from Jody Campbell, and 2 from Mackie McKnight. Kipper Nichols leads the game rebounds. He's got 3 rebounds for Sharks so far. Maxwell has 2 for the Eagles. Rex Fluger has 2 assists as well as 2 points. Biggest lead was 12 and 24. Sheffield shooting 3 from 5 from 3-point range, which is what's kept them in the game at the moment.
Yeah, big one. Very obvious thing in terms of the way these two teams have played, Jeff. You look at the efficiency rating for the teams, and the Eagles are 33 to the Sharks is 13. And I think that's a clear indication of how much better the Eagles have been playing as a team.
Again, I mentioned that stat from Rex Fluger. If you look, he's got 2 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So he obviously filling the stat sheet up. Justin Gordon back on. Louis Sears turns the corner. Finds Eddie Matthew in the corner. That ball was inside to Justin Gordon, but Mike Tuck, who'd come on for the first time as the start of the second quarter, he was able to get his hands down and pick up the steal.
Yeah, it's the second offense when they've had good ball reversal to try and isolate somebody inside with a height advantage, and unfortunately the final pass just hasn't been up to the quality of the previous movement.
Yes, for 3, that's off. Justin Gordon was up for the rebound, knocked it free, but Campbell came down. The other end, he talked about bad passes. Rob Marsden's pass went straight to Ramon Fletcher, who's back on the court as well for the Eagles. Also back on is Antoine Lillard. Starts the second quarter. Jody Campbell comes inside, knocks down the 2. Quite impressive stuff from Jody Campbell.
I mean, in terms of his stroke, he looks like the guy who could maybe be a threat from outside for against the Eagles.
Fletcher back to Maxwell for 3. Maxwell knocks down the 3. The big fella, 6'10", but he shoots the 3 at 40%, I believe, last year.
Do we know how many shots he took over the season?
No, and again, they didn't have to play that many games, but he played in Slovakia. It's a good league, and he averaged 15 points, 15.6 points a game and 7.5 rebounds. So that's not bad stats for the league he was playing in Slovakia. Oh, fantastic play from Ramon Fletcher as he drives to the basket and lays it in with the left hand. If anything, Ramon Fletcher looking even sleeker than he did last year. Maybe it's because he's got no hair this year. Yes, Lillard. I think he'd be anxious to get off his took thought about the 3. Justin Gordon defended him. Matthew and Callum Jones is a bit of a mismatch, but Matthew does enough to put Jones off on the shot. Fletcher tries the long ball to Matthew, who's cutting to the basket. Good hands by Sheffield, puts the ball out. And here's the Eagles' first look at another one of the guys who'll be playing for Mark Elderkin at Team Newcastle, number 22, Sean Murphy, making his Eagles debut. And Cortez Edwards also comes back on. Justin Gordon, oh nice, really nice fake pass. It's a really nice fake pass between Gordon and Edwards.
Yeah, pretty impressed with after he'd sold the fake, how quick Gordon's next step was in terms of getting past his defender. That's a good sign for things to come.
We looking at his highlights. He's listed at 6'6", but he seems to play a lot higher than that. We'll see. I mean, when he played in Holland, he was second in the league in scoring, and I think third in the league in scoring, and second in rebounding. So he's obviously got a bit of bounce about
really good cut there from Gordon. Really good cut.
Maxwell tried the floater, didn't go. Callum Jones comes away with the ball for Sheffield. To Tuck. Here's Lillard. Back to Tuck. Tuck aims up for the 3. Ball's off. Sean Murphy takes the rebound. Finds Edwards. Edwards to Maxwell. Maxwell from the corner for 3. And it goes again. Eagles have 6'10" shooter from the corner. Eagles up 32-20 now. There's Lillard. That's well short. But Jody Campbell does well to retrieve it, but he gives the ball straight to Fletcher, who's off and running, and lays it in for 2.
Rob Rob Marsden's got many attributes, Jeff, but one of them is not catching Lamont Fletcher when he breaks away like that.
Some excellent defence from the Eagles has led to great transition points, and they're up by 14. It's 34-20, and the team of Lions decides to take his second time out of the half with 7:01 still to go, and that's very impressive effort by the Eagles to open the quarter.
I mean, the difficulty the Sharks are having at the moment is they don't really have an answer to the way the Eagles are matching up on defence, the way they're switching on defence. When the switch is very aggressive, they're not giving anybody any clear open looks. There's no straight line drives to basket. They've had to really work hard for these 20 points.
Evan Maxwell up to 8 points now for the Eagles with those 2 threes. He's also picked up a couple of rebounds. Justin Gordon picked up a couple of rebounds, looking very active. As Dave said, as Dave's already commented, Sheffield on 20 points, 13 of them to Nick Lewis, who played the whole of the first quarter. And Jody Campbell's nice 2 from the top of the key, that took him to 5 points.
So come on, Jeff, who's the other one who's chipped in those 2 points?
Mackie McKnight, 2 from the line.
Mm-hmm. And if I remember last year, Mackie McKnight took a little while to get going. But every time I saw him play here against the Eagles last year, it was really impressive in the way he organised the game for the Sharks.
Well,
pretty much an MVP performance every time he played against them.
As I said, the two sides met 5 times last season, and Sheffield won on 4 of those occasions. They won both the league games and both the cup games. The only time they actually lost to the Eagles was in the quarterfinals of the trophy, and that's obviously the Eagles went on to win the trophy. He has Lillard from the corner. That's knocked his 3 down. Nice shot from the young man. Fletcher with a long ball trying to find Gordon. Obviously something the Eagles have worked on. It didn't work that time because Kipper Nichols came up with the ball. He read it really well. But Gordon obviously gets out very, very quickly for the Eagles. With good defence on Nichols to match his pace. McKnight now got the ball. McKnight shoots a 3, but it's Justin Gordon coming away. He's got somebody behind him. Edwards shakes, bakes, goes back out. That's going to be a foul as he drives inside. That was on number 7, Kipper Nichols.
I mean, Justin Gordon took that rebound, then he put a lot of pressure on the Sharks defence by attacking them straight down the middle. Cortez Edgewood filled the lane nicely, nice fake then inside. It was a terrific kick out to Fletcher for a wide open 3. Pity that they called the foul.
Maxwell for 2 doesn't go. Battles for the rebound with Koch, but Koch comes away with it. Just to say that was Kipper Nichols' 3rd foul of the game, so he's taken a seat. Mackie McKnight tries it. Sean Murphy comes up with another rebound. Young lad not looking out of place. Fletcher with a run and drive, doesn't make the floater. Maxwell got his hand to the rebound, knocked it back, but Sheffield came up with the loose ball. And the ball's in with McKnight. That's a nice pass inside. Eagles defence was a bit slack there, but Koch did well to get inside. And I think the foul will be on Evan Maxwell. Yeah, foul on Evan Maxwell as Bennett Koch reached out for the pass. Sean Murphy getting a good hand from his colleagues on the bench. He comes out, Rex Flugler comes on, the blonde bombshell. Koch at the line for 2. Oh, sorry, an extra 1 because he made the basket. It's his first points of the night. Assisted by McKnight, who's Mackie McKnight, who's got averaged 7 assists a game last year, which was the 4th best in the BBL. Great recovery from Flugler. Fletcher for 3, that's off. Oh, Edwards thought he had an easy rebound, but he wasn't watching. Lewis came from behind and just knocked it away. A little bit casual from Edwards there. He has Koch on Maxwell. I think he'll take Maxwell to the basket. Yep, he does do it. That's the 3rd foul on Evan Maxwell.
Well, from a Tiber Lions point of view, this is a good point in the game because I thought of 2 of the games when we saw Sharks here last year. The Koch had really good games. He was very active. And in the other one, I thought he was just pretty much out of the game. He really didn't get involved in that other game at all. But the last few minutes, he's been really active, trying to get into the paint, trying to get it open. When he's taken it, any chance he gets to see it penetrate and move to the basket, he's made it.
What he's also done is had fouled twice by Maxwell, which gives Maxwell 3 fouls and sends him to the bench. So Cock really doing his job well and makes the first free throw. Sheffield just coming back into the game now, and if he makes this, it'll be a 6-point game. Be an 8-point run for Sheffield.
Pretty good, isn't it, when your big guy gets in trouble and you can just slip Darius Defoe off the bench.
Back, yeah.
Just a little hiccup with the resetting of the 24-second clock. All sorted out now, and
Sheffield got the long rebound after Cock missed the second free throw. Lillard was going to shoot the three, gives it to Lewis. Lewis inside the Cock on Defoe.
That was really, really good positional play by Koch and a great find by Nick Lewis.
Referee's unsure as to which way the ball's going to be given here.
Yeah, when the Premier League football resumed and you're playing with nobody in the crowds, it's interesting. You can pick up the players' noises a lot more, and it's interesting what you can hear now from the players when there's no crowd in.
Well, I think there was more people in favour of that being Sheffield's ball, so naturally it's been given to the Eagles. Flugel will inbound it. Doing his best Stuart Broad impression, I was going to say. That's going to be another foul on the floor. Don't know if you can pick that up in the background, but Sheffield's Yuri's not very happy at all with the referee.
We've got the Sheffield management to our left, and it's very easy to pick up what they're saying, and you can't disagree with a lot of it because...
Fluger into Defoe. Fletcher, Gordon for three, that's off. Fluger's up for the rebound, doesn't get it. Mackie McKnight picks up the loose ball.
What a pass.
Edwards, great pass to Gordon. Gordon on the trail. Getting out fast. Puts the 2 points in.
I love the way he plays. He looks smooth. He's always in control, and he gets his head up very quickly to see what options he's got.
Oh, Edwards almost picked that pass off from Lord. Nice basket from Mackie Mackay because he wasn't quite in balance. Still made it though. Eagles lead by 7, 36-29. 4 minutes to go in the second quarter. Is Defoe driving to the basket. Great drive by Darius Defoe. Darius Defoe, his 17th consecutive season for the Eagles, and he's 36 this year. And I think most of us can remember him as a wee bairn of 18, Dave.
Well, from the point of view as Darius Defoe scoring that basket, Sheffield Sharks will be most disappointed with the way the Wigshead defence reacted to his drive. They just simply stood and watched him drive in and score with the easy bucket.
Good play for McKnight at the other end, though, to find the unmarked Tuck under the basket, who laid it in for two. Fletcher's layup is picked up by Lillard, who drives all the way, goes coast to coast, and that's going to be a timeout for Eagles. Sheffield cutting the gap to 5, 38-33 on that drive. McLeod thinks that I'll have a timeout just to try and stem the flow a little bit.
Yeah, well, most of our comments have been pointing to the Eagles in the ascendancy. Sharks have actually crept back to within 5 of this game, and I think a lot of that to do with the fact that Koch got much more active, but also this guy Antoine Lillard's got more involved in the game as well. That was a pretty good coast-to-coast drive with a really nice soft touch at the finish.
Sheffield on a 13-4 run. That's why McLeod called the timeout. The score chart looking a bit more even for them, with McKnight on the 4 and Cock on 4, Lillard on 5. Dave mentioned getting more involved. Excellent coast to coast move. For the Eagles, Defoe and Maxwell both have 8 points. Ramon Fletcher has 6 points. Subs coming in and out. Justin Gordon go at the far end to inbound the ball to Ramon Fletcher. It's faced by Nick Lewis. Fletcher just takes it over halfway, gives it to Lasker, back to Fletcher. Into Flugler for 3, that's way off. I think Lillard got a piece of that, to be fair. And he has Lewis for 3 at the other end. That one's off as well. You just mentioned Lillard getting more active, and I think he got a hand on Flugler's 3-point shot there. Showed a lot of activity. Nick Lewis coming off, Jody Campbell back on.
Yeah, I think when the players watch the replay of this game, I think both the players who took the last shots, one from the Sharks, one for Eagles, will think twice about whether they should actually have taken those shots. They weren't easy shots to take.
Justin Gordon thought about going for the 3, and that's a nice drive from Gordon. He's bumped as he goes for the basket. Fouls on 15, Mike Tuck. Justin Gordon will shoot 2. Mike Tuck comes out. That's his 3rd foul. Rob Marsden back in. Justin Gordon on the line for the Eagles. This is the first. This is both of them. Darius Defoe battling for the rebound. Mackie McKnight gets up, ball bouncing around. Lillard comes away with it. He drives in hard on Flugler and lays it in for 2.
Really good finish again, because he was under a lot of pressure, but kept his composure right to the end through the entire action of that shot.
He's certainly picked it up the second quarter for Sharks. He's on to 7 points now.
I mean, Coach McLeod's used his 2 timeouts for this quarter, so if he was to have another one, but pretty sure this closing of this gap here has been a little bit of some of Sheffield's key players getting more involved, but it's also been drop intensity in the Eagles' defence as well. The Eagles are not been getting in the passing lanes the way they were in the previous 14-15 minutes. They're not been switching as hard. They're not talking as much to each other.
It certainly is Sheffield the most vocal side now. He has Marsden against Sayers. He'll fancy his chances there and turns and hooks it in for 2 over Louis Sayers. And it's a 1-point game, 38-37, and that's a 17-4 run now at the moment for Sheffield since they called the timeout. So here's Rex Flugler trying to get through, and bad pass in the end, picked off by Jody Campbell. Sheffield with a chance to take the lead.
I think if you look at turnovers, Jeff, you'll find that and if you could just say what they were for, you'd find quite a few of them have been for passing in this quarter.
And that's going to be a foul by Defoe as McKnight goes to the basket.
There's two passes in particular, Jeff, I've not been pleased with the way the Eagles are throwing. Sometimes you see the Sheffield defence funneling back right down the middle, and they're trying to throw the ball to one guy who's in transition against 3 or 4 players, but the other one is the cross-court passes they're throwing are just getting picked off.
And it would seem to be the other way around in the first quarter. Sheffield's cross-court passes were getting picked off by the Eagles, but Sheffield have certainly put that right.
Yeah.
We know when this fella McKnight's on the line, it's almost automatic.
But this is what pre-season's for.
Yeah,
it's symptomatic of players making mistakes, but watch the game film. just making some of those cross-court passes too obvious.
Well, Matt Knight actually missed the second free throw, but Darius Defoe was adjudged to have gone in too early, and he got a chance to shoot it again, and he's put Sheffield in front by 1. Eagles trying to get the ball up quickly. 1.5 minutes to go. They'll trail by a point now. Sheffield's run continues. Fletcher for 3. That's short. Fluger picks up the rebound. Does really well. Darius Defoe tries to bounce past the Fletcher, and that one again is picked up by Sheffield. Jody Campbell in for 2, and the whole of the Sheffield bench is up as this run continues.
Yeah. Most of their last points that have enabled them to take this lead have come from Eagles passing turnovers.
Flugler for 3. That one's in for Rex Flugler. Levels the game up as we go into the last minute of the first half. 41-41. Mark Knight with the ball. Will they go quickly? Yeah, Mark Knight's going to try that shot. That's well short. Defoe takes the rebound. He finds Lasker breaking away. Lasker lays it in for 2. 43-41 Eagles. 30 seconds to go. In the second quarter, Mark Knight once again with the ball coming forward. Sets something up. Drive at the basket and makes it quite comfortably. Almost picks the ball off. Fletcher looks at the clock and thinks 43-43, we're going to have the last shot. Sheffield really played well in the second half of this quarter. That's a foul by Bennett Cock on Ramon Fletcher with 4.2 seconds to go. I think he's going to be on the line for 2. Sheffield in the penalty.
One of the dangers when you switch, Jeff, that you end up with a mismatch like that. There's no way can Kosh guard Fletcher when he wants to penetrate the basket.
So Fletcher on the line to shoot 2 with 4.2 seconds left to go in the first half. Misses the first.
Well, he makes this one. You'd like to think that the Eagles can set up some defence to not give Sheffield any sort of look at all in the 4.2 seconds remaining.
He's missed them both.
Well,
Rob Mawson takes the rebound, and he's going to shoot that one from way inside his own half. Ooh, and Jody Campbell almost tipped that ball in. Well, that's the end of the first half, and we are as same as we were at the start, absolutely level, except that both teams have scored 43 instead of 0. And I think both coaches will probably be quite pleased with some of the things and not so pleased with some of the things, which I guess is what pre-season is all about.
Well, as neutrals up here in the commentary box, when you looked at the score after 15 minutes and the way the game was going, there was no way on earth did I predict or think that Sharks would be level at the half. But that came about for 2 reasons. One is some of the Shark and McKnight's woken up, and Lillard's got himself going. Kosh has become much more of a presence inside, and the Eagles have just made far too many careless passing mistakes to give, no offence to them, and then a chance for Sharks to break on them and set up what they've done. But those first 15 minutes were good for the Eagles. McLeod needs to talk to his team at half-time and getting them back to the way they were playing in those first 15 minutes.
We'll get some stats together for you and come back to you in a couple of minutes' time. With us running the live stream, we can come back and talk to you when we want to, as long as producer Stu and director Les. Yeah, we're going to cut for now, Les, and then we'll come back. Thanks. Everybody, welcome back to the Eagles Community Arena. As promised, we're going to give you some half-time stats. I do have one really interesting stat that I wanted to talk to Dave about, but I'll get to that in a minute. Just looking at the top scorers for the Eagles, we have Evan Maxwell has 8 points, Darius Defoe has 8 points, and Ramon Fletcher has 6. Rex Flugler has 5, Cortez Edwards has 5, Drew Lasker has 4, Justin Gordon has 4, and Louis Sears has 3. On the rebounds front, not a lot there, though there's 4 rebounds for Justin Gordon, he leads the way. For the Sharks, Antoine Liddard has 7 points, Jody Campbell has 7 points, Mackie McKnight has 6 points, Bennett Cock has 6 points, Rob Marsden 2, Mike Tuck 2, and Nick Lewis 13. But the interesting point for me, Dave, was Nick Lewis had 30. All right. Well, Nick Lewis had 13 points in the first quarter, and Sheffield only scored 18. And in the second quarter, Sheffield scored 25 points, and Nick Lewis didn't score any. So I'm just going to check the levels. Dave says you can't hear us. Nothing's changed. Well, so looking at it, Eagles won the first quarter 24-18. Sheffield won the second 25-19. Looking at assists, Eagles have 1, 2, 3, 4 players on 2 assists. That's Fletcher, Defoe, Edwards, and Flugler. Flugler also has 2 steals, as has Fletcher. For Sheffield, Jones has 2 assists, McKnight has 2 assists. And rebounds, Rob Marsden has 3, Mackie McKnight has 3 rebounds, Kipper Nichols has 3 rebounds. Overall, the rebounds, Sheffield lead 18-17. On the assists, the Eagles lead 11-6. Turnovers, Sheffield have 9, Eagles have 7. Eagles also have 8 steals to Sheffield's 5. Sheffield shooting overall at 48.5%, Eagles at 53.1%. From 3-point line, Eagles are 4 from 12 at 33%, exactly the same as Sheffield, 4 from 12. And from the line, Eagles are 5 from 11, Sheffield 7 from 10. So very little obviously in the game at 43-43. The lead has changed hands on 6 occasions. We tied 3 times. The biggest lead of the game was Eagles had a 14-point lead at 34-20. Sheffield, their biggest lead was at 3 twice when they were led 41-38, and obviously when they scored the first 3 points of the game. Sheffield had a 12-0 run to take them into the lead at 38-41, which counteracted the Eagles' 10-point run earlier. Bench points, Eagles have 15 points, Sheffield's bench has 11. Points in the paint, Eagles have 20 points, Sheffield have 18. So we're ready to go with the second quarter. Trying to keep you up to date as we go through. Fortunately, don't think Dave can't hear me, can you?
Just started, yeah.
Just started, it's picking up now. So Dave, just before we get to start, read through quite a few of the stats there. I don't know if you've had a chance to have a look at them yourself.
I think that turnover situation, I think Eagles got very few turnovers in the first quarter and started to pick up more in the second. It doesn't show clearly, but I feel that the Sharks took advantage of those turnovers more than the score suggests, because they're able to put the Eagles defence under a little bit of pressure much earlier, and the Eagles just simply weren't getting in the passing lanes they were in the first quarter. So I mean, the Eagles need to regroup, because the Eagles, have had a lot of subs, which is what you expect from a pre-season game, and naturally the coach wants to look particularly to the players that he doesn't know. So Eagles definitely won the first 15 15 minutes, Sharks definitely won the next 5. So it'll be interesting to see where we pick up. And it's Sharks' ball to start the second half.
It is, and they have Bennett Cock, Mackie McKnight, Rob Marsden, Antoine Lillard and Nick Lewis, who will be faced up by Cortez Edwards, Justin Gordon, Rex Pfluger, Darius Defoe and Ramon Fletcher. Sheffield getting the game underway. Lillard turns the corner, gives it to Cock. Good defence inside by the Eagles. Lewis. So I think that's a really interesting stat, the fact that Lewis had 13, Sheffield's 18 in the first quarter and didn't score at all in the second quarter, and Sheffield scored 25 points in that quarter. The first shot is off. Fletcher drives to the basket, and in it goes for 2. Puts the Eagles in front, 45-43. Takes Ramon Fletcher to 8 points personal.
Well, that's just a gift for Ramon Fletcher. The moment he saw that player flip onto his right hand, he saw the gap, he just took it. No help came in at all. Easy 2.
Sheffield trying to reply. That's going to be an offensive foul. Offensive foul called on Mackie McKnight as he cut through the key. His first foul of the game. Justin Gordon having words with Ian McLeod. Friendly words, I may hasten to add. But it's interesting what Dave said as well, is that you can pick up a lot of the things that have been said and who's very vocal. And Eagles were very vocal in the first quarter, and Sheffield much more the vocals in the second quarter. Darius Defoe drives to the basket and somehow manages to make a basket over Bennett Cock. Crashes to the floor and he's Rex Pfluger all over. Great rebound by Justin Gordon. That's really good defense by the Eagles, and Cortez Edwards lays it in for 2. First of all, it was Pfluger getting involved, and then Gordon taking the rebound and quick outlet pass to Edwards, who was off and running, and Eagles up by 6. There's an offensive foul. Justin Gordon taking the charge. Fouls on 14, Rob Marsden. The Eagles celebrated that almost as if it really meant something, Dave, didn't it?
Yeah.
Showing a good team spirit there early on.
Well, the interesting thing is they haven't started Evan Maxwell in the second half, partly because he's got 3 fouls, but also I've just noticed that he's away from the team bench and he's working out with the fitness trainer at the moment. So maybe he's picked up a little knock, but luckily for the Eagles, they've got a great standing in Darius Defoe. And what a tough hoop that was, because Koch absolutely fouled him to pieces. So we started the first half with everything being called, and we started the second half with almost nothing being called. There's a lot of physicality going on, which is good to see, because it's not affecting the way the game's played.
It's just pre-season game as well.
Yeah.
It's best to really just to try and let the players play. Yes, Lillard going hard. Basket being given there. Foul was on Pfluger, but Gordon came from behind him and swatted it away. But Judge's basket was judged as good.
Well, if anybody was wondering whether Justin Gordon's athletic, they now know. He flat out is.
Because the basket was given good, it means that Lillard will go to the line for an extra shot. He's missed it, and Defoe takes the rebound. Fletcher to Pfluger, knocks it to Gordon. Gordon flicks it in. Very, very quick and smart play by Pfluger.
Yeah, just need to work a little bit on I saw that in the first half. Eagles just need to work a little bit on the spacing in that secondary break. They've often got 2 players filling the same lane.
Lillard thought about the 3, decided not to shoot it. Nice pass from Marsden to McKnight, sorry. Lewis for 3 from a long way out, but as in it goes. Deadly Nick Lewis from distance. Here's Edwards. He's going to go off the glass, didn't make it, but Darius Defoe takes a great offensive rebound and lays it back in. Pierce is picking up again, Dave.
Yep.
53-48 to the Eagles with 7:15 to go in the third quarter. McKnight, Marsden thought about the shot, decides to go against Defoe instead. Defoe gets his hands in on the ball. Gordon on the follow through. Ball's free. Gordon got it free, and Fletcher gets out and he's telling Gordon, come on, off you go and run. And there you go, Justin Gordon looking already as if he's going to be, well, I can hardly say a fan's favourite because there's no fans here, but he's certainly very, very active in the start of the third quarter.
You know, that's the point you made there, no fans here. It's actually not that easy to commentate when you don't have that atmosphere in the fans, and I'm just wondering what it feels like to play.
To be fair, Dave, I see what you're saying, but it's kind of like the atmosphere is always great in the Eagles arena, and it really does help. But sometimes I forget when I'm commentating that there are fans in the ground in the stadium. But this has been a really good game as well. Certainly, this start of that's going to be a foul on Defoe. As Nick Lewis bounced past it into Cock. Clear foul.
Darius got his angles wrong there. He was battling behind him instead of getting into the passing lane to prevent that ball coming in. I think McLeod's called for a sub there. I'm pretty sure that's going to be because Darius has picked up his third. Yeah, and interestingly, been replaced by a player who's coming on with 3 fouls. And obviously, whatever Maxwell was doing with the physio or the fitness trainers worked because he's fit enough to come on.
McKnight has to throw up the prayers. Good Eagles defense, lockdown defense from the Eagles. Forces a 24-second Hail Mary from McKnight and it didn't hit the rim. Flugler and Defoe take a seat. Maxwell and Sayers on for the Eagles.
Well, nearly 4 minutes gone, Jeff, and the Eagles have certainly been able to get the intensity back into the defence. The same levels they had at the start of the game.
Justin Gordon for 2 as well. He seems to be coming alive.
He's absolutely coming to life.
Here's Antoine Lillard. He looks a nice little player as well. Cock had a chance to hit Lewis. Yeah, travelled. He thought he put the ball down, but nope, travel was given. Yes, Kipper Nichols coming back on. He's on 3 fouls as well. Rob Marsden takes a seat. Another good shift put in by Rob Marsden.
Both teams now have got 2 players on 3 fouls, so hardly any serious foul trouble. If they don't take that gap that Fletcher's finding on his left hand, he's going to be creating that all night. The help's got to be ready quicker, and that guy's got to try and force him a little bit more to his right.
What gets me though, Dave, is this is Fletcher's 6th season in the league, and people still give him the left hand lane. Edwards going well to the basket, finds Sears, he comes back out. Maxwell thought about the 3, gives it Edwards. Good ball movement from the Eagles, and Edwards, no, basket was called off. Charge and foul given. Eddie Matthew about to return for the Eagles. Justin Gordon up to 10 points and 5 rebounds.
I think the question mark about that was that a charge? But I think without any question, as defence was established outside the no charge area.
Yeah, great. Good hustle by Louis Sayers on Lillard. He has Nichols. He's going to get a nice spin. Didn't make the basket though. Edwards picks it up. Gives it to Sayers. Sayers back to Edwards. Edwards drives. Finds Gordon in the corner. Gordon for 3. In it goes. 13 points now for Justin Gordon. He looks as if he's going to be one of these crowd pleasers, Dave.
You know,
if we get crowds in.
When you got guys like Fletcher and Edwards, you're going to get penetration like that. It's good to see that they can kick it out and find somebody, and it's good to see the Eagles have got people who are prepared to catch and shoot.
Nice pass inside by McKnight. It's going to be a travel. Subs coming in for Sheffield. Tuck and Jones will replace Cock and McKnight.
I think one of the reasons Maxwell got in those 3 fouls in the first, a little bit careless with his hands, but that was a really nice hand check.
Eagles leading 62-48 all of a sudden.
It's down to the Eagles. They're playing defence now like they were in the first half.
Cortez Edwards weaving some magic towards the basket, and the right hand layup goes in. 64-48 Eagles lead with 4:10 to go. Good hands from Justin Gordon on Kipper Nichols. He's Tuck going to have to shoot the three. Decides to take Maxwell to the basket. Maxwell honours the shot, but Tuck, using all that veteran skills, manages.
Great switch of hands.
Yeah.
Great switch of hands. Good to see big players getting to the basket who can switch from the strong hand to the weak hand to finish it off rather than have to dish out.
The other end, it's Gordon against Nichols, and that's going to be a foul by Nichols. Bumped.
Well, Gordon's really come to life in this quarter. Looks like he's really enjoying it out there. He's putting a lot of energy into the game. He's getting very vocal.
4 fouls for Kipper Nichols. Welcome to the BBL, Kipper.
It happens every year, Jeff. It's always going to be the same. They come over and they've got to get used to the refereeing as well as the different style of play over here.
Of course, we have only got the one BBL official tonight, Ian MacDonald, and the other 2 local league referees, John Paul Heron and Lynn Fennick, wife of ex-BBL referee Barry Fennick.
Yeah. How many times already in this half has Cortez Edwards made a lovely curling cut to the basket?
And he's been found as well by Tuck for 3. Reliable Mike Tuck knocks down the 3, and Edwards goes back out the other end. 66-53. Edwards curls to the basket again. This time fadeaway jump shot in for 2. Cortez Edwards also having a big quarter. It's Edwards and Gordon show at the moment from the Eagles. Oh, Maxwell came from the side and looked as if he made a really big swat away, but the basket was called good. Not sure the Eagles bench agreed with it, but it was.
I'm not sure I agree with it. I mean, we're dead level with the basket here. That looked like a pretty good check.
Yeah, it did, but Sears for 3 from the corner, and then it goes again. Nice pass from Justin Gordon. Eagles leading now 71-55, and really powerhouse showing this third quarter so far. Lillard, nice round the back, and that's going to be a foul. Now, who's the foul on? If it's on Maxwell, it'll be his 4th. No, it's fouls on 16, Eddie Matthews. Time out for Sheffield. I think Evan Maxwell probably breathed a sigh of relief there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, McLeod's got to be happy with everything that's happened in this quarter in all sorts of ways, but he particularly be impressed with Cortez Edwards and Justin Gordon. I think they've had both very good quarters. If you're a Tiber Lions, you're going to remind your players that over his lifetime as a coach, he's probably said to the players about 3 million times, no paint. They're just letting the Eagles get into the paint far too easily.
Just to emphasise that point that you made there, Dave, Justin Gordon scored 9 points in this quarter, and Cortez Edwards has scored 8. There's 17 points between them. So at the moment, looking at the Eagles score chart, they have four players in double figures. That's Cortez Edwards on 13, Justin Gordon on 13, Darius DeFore on 12, Ramon Fletcher on 10, and Evan Maxwell has 8. For Sheffield, Nick Lewis still leads the way with 18 points. Jody Campbell has 7, Mike Tuck has 7, and Anton Lillard, who we said had come alive, he's got 9 points as well. Justin Gordon, to go with his 13 points, has 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Leading the efficiency index along with 18. Darius DeVoe's an index of 17. Sheffield so far, their top performer, obviously Nick Lewis with 14. It's Lillard on the line for 2 after the foul by Eddie Matthew. This is the first. 2:41 to go. Eagles lead 71-55. Hope you're all enjoying this at home. We certainly are in the arena. Great rebound by Louis Sayers off the second missed free throw from Antoine Lillard. That's a foul. No, ball went out of play. Ball went out of play before the block by Louis Sayers. Tiber Lions is having I think he's put his mask on to close his mouth.
Yeah. The reason Sayers had difficulty in that play there, Jeff, is the Eagles are not exactly filling the lanes with good spacing. Nearly every guy rather went down the middle on the right-hand side of the floor. Whoa!
Oh, there's one first alley-oop of the season. Lovely play from Cortez Edwards, and he weaved in inside the key and then threw it up, and Evan Maxwell was there to slam it down to take him into double figures on 10 points. Lovely play to watch.
Great pass, wasn't it? Great, beautifully floated.
Jody Campbell for 3, that's off. Cortez Edwards takes a rebound. Pushing the ball hard, gives it to Louis Sayers. Sayers to Gordon.
I mean, quite rightly, we've talked a lot about the Eagles this quarter because they've had by far the better of the quarter. But from Sheffield's point of view, hopefully the Callum Jones situation works out for him, because it's good that he can come on and run the game to give Mackay some rest. And if Jody Campbell turns out to be a shooter, that could be an asset to them as well.
Eagles moving the ball around well, but shooting was off. Nice to see Eddie Matthew getting in there with an offensive rebound, and then Evan Maxwell did a nice job of getting the ball. He's standing on the line. Yeah, so definitely outbound. A little bit sloppy, but exciting basketball. Just great to be back in the arena and seeing some basketball being played.
I think that's the good thing, isn't it? Sending a message out right across the country that basketball is ready to come back. Done a great job tonight preparing the arena, make sure everything's safe. I've been really impressed with the way we've been looked after, the way things have been organised. That is a tremendous pass.
Great pass from Gordon and a great breakout from Eddie Matthew, who lays it in for 2. Eagles now lead by 20 at 75-55 and 1:18 to go in the third quarter. Callum Jones, we know he doesn't shoot very many threes, never has. Lillard thought about shooting the 3 there. Good defense by Louis Sayers. And then Gordon fouls Mike Tuck. Both Eagles now moving into the penalty. 2 shots to Mike Tuck. And that's another thing. Eagles picking up a 20-point lead, but if obviously being more aggressive at both ends of the floor, picked up the fouls as well, and Mike Tuck misses the free throws, so the Eagles on the penalty, Sheffield on. Sheffield have been a bit passive as well, Dave.
They have, but got to give credit to the Eagles defence. They're not giving Sheffield any good looks at all.
Tuck makes the second. Cortez Edwards flying up the court. Maxwell thought about it, shooting a 3, decides to drive inside instead. Doesn't quite make the 2. Justin Gordon can't pick the rebound up. Good rebound by Mike Tuck. Callum Jones brings it forward. There's Oscar Baldwin's first points for Sheffield. Nice lane. The youngster. Nice break by Callum Jones. Into the last 30 seconds of the quarter. Evan Maxwell for 2, and it goes again. That takes him up to 12 points.
Playing with confidence, isn't he?
Yeah, a lot of the Eagles are at the moment. Nice balanced score chart. I think McLeod will be enjoying that. Mike Tuck. Edwards calls out in anguish. He thinks he should have had the steal there. Missed it. Eagles allowed that ball to travel a long way. Tuck has to go for the 3 and makes the 3. Mike Tuck. Been doing that for years. Eddie Matthew from halfway, and that's well short. That 3-pointer was just enough to cut the Eagles' lead to 17 points. Eagles lead 77-60. It was a big, big quarter for the Eagles. It was a 34. I believe that was 34 to the Eagles that quarter. Yeah, 34 points are scored in that quarter, the Eagles.
Yeah.
Sheffield scored 18.
That started in the dressing room, didn't it? Because Coach McLeod wouldn't have been happy with the way they ended the first half, particularly after starting so well. And he's got them going, he's got them coming out the play. The key was the intensity on defence. Making it very difficult to Sheffield to move the ball, very difficult to penetrate. And the fact that the Eagles were getting out early. And when you got Fletcher and Edwards on the team, And then you've got opportunities where you're going to penetrate. And now the Eagles are adding a little bit of outside shooting to that, which is good, because those players then know if they can't get to the basket, they can dish it out to a shooter.
Just looking at the scores for the Eagles, Cortez Edwards has 13 points, 4 rebounds and 6 assists. Justin Gordon has 13 points, 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Ramon Fletcher, 10 points and 4 assists. Evan Maxwell, 12 points. Darius Defoe, 12 points and 5 rebounds. Nice balance there from the Eagles. Once again for Sheffield, Mike Tuck now has 11 points. Antoine Lillard 9 and Nick Lewis 18. Rebound wise, nobody has more than 3 rebounds for Sheffield. Long 3 misses there from the Eagles. Sauve Kande gets his first minutes of the game with the Eagles 17 in front. Sheffield looking to mount a comeback in this quarter. And one thing we know from last year as well, that Sheffield were a team that never ever went away. They always kept going right to the end. And I know people say, oh well, every team always goes right to the end, but it doesn't always happen. Lillard has to take a 3 in the end and misses it. Cortez Edwards comes away with the rebound. He finds Eddie Matthew. Eddie Matthew on the trail for 3. He knocks down the 3. Takes the Eagles to 80-61. Another assist for Edwards. That's 7 assists. Nice pass inside by Bennett Cook. I think that's going to be a foul on Eddie Matthew. Yep, another foul on Matthew. Mass substitutions for Sheffield. That's 5 off and 5 on. Ilya Tiva seen something there, so we've now completely changed it round. So we've got Mackie McKnight back on, Nick Lewis back on, Rob Morrison back on, Kipper Nichols back on, and Bennett Cock back on. Eagles still with Matthew, Maxwell, Sears, Edwards and Kande. Sears takes the rebound from Lewis's missed shot. Sears thought about it, then he stepped back and shoots the 3. It doesn't go. Evan Maxwell can't get there for the rebound. Cock takes it. Nichols brings it over halfway line. McKnight. Here's Lewis. Nichols. Sheffield working the ball round the key. Here's Nichols inside. Floater goes in for Kipper Nichols. Believe it or not, it's Kipper Nichols' first points of the game.
A nice turnaround jump shot to register on the scoreboard for the first time.
Reverse pass from Cortez Edwards to Louis Sears, and Louis Sears picked up Evan Maxwell in the paint beautifully. Lovely basket from the Eagles. McKnight to reply. Cock, Marsden, Nichols made one, probably fancies another one. He's faced against Sauve Kande. Marsden, Eagles defense really tightening up the screw. There's Lewis for 3, can't make it. Matthew gets a touch. Sauve Kande brings it away. Kande's going to drive at the basket. Gives it back to Evan Maxwell at the free throw line. And that's a great assist from young Sauve Kande to Evan Maxwell, who's now up to 14 points.
Showing a nice touch on his shot as well.
Eagles leading 84-63. A foul this time on Louis Sears. I was just going to say Louis Sears' defense has been really quite effective, and then he picks up the foul. Let's just play it on. Cortez Edwards takes a seat. That's a good hand from his teammates. Ramon Fletcher back on. Sean Murphy comes back on for Eddie Matthew. Nick Lewis, he'll go to the basket. He's missed that, but he manages to get his own rebound and lays it in. Murphy gives it to Fletcher. We're off and running again with the Eagles. Sheffield cut the gap to 19, 84-65. Nick Lewis took to 20 points. Maxwell for 3. Inside, outside, he's done it all tonight.
It was pretty easy to get in the offense because the Eagles are getting much better spacing as they're filling the lanes down the floor.
Up to 19 points personal, Evan Maxwell. Interesting story as well, Evan Maxwell, which we'll get to in a minute. Nice turn from Rob Morrison and Maxwell up. Evan Maxwell was played for Liberty University for 2 years, and then was redshirted. We went to Kansas. Bill Self took him to Kansas, but he never actually got on a court for Kansas. And redshirted obviously when he first went there, and was prepared to sit it out, and then decided not to. And he actually went to NAIA at Indiana Wesleyan, Player of the Year 2 years running. Got under the radar a little bit.
Bennett Koch showing some nice footwork there inside. Got himself in a good position. 2 guys on him, but he outfoxed both of them with his footwork.
We often talk about, or I often talk about Sheffield having a certain type of player, and I think we thought last year that Bennett Koch was one of those type of players, and probably not a surprise that they brought him back. Sean Murphy going to drive to the basket, and he's going to be fouled as he drives to the basket. Eagles youngsters showing a lot of confidence, Dave. They've got 2 on at the moment, Sean Murphy and Sauvé Kandé, and Murphy wasn't frightened to take that ball all the way to the basket and was fouled by Kipper Nichols. So Kipper Nichols is now off with 6:14 to go. So not only did Murphy take that ball strongly to the basket, he also got Kipper Nichols fouled out. Misses the free throw though. Yes, makes the second one. Oh, nice steal from Louis Sayers. Fletcher's there, gives it to Sayers. Sayers couldn't quite take Fletcher's return pass. So we're looking for Sauvé Kandé to score a point. If he can score a point, that means all 12 Eagles will have scored. Callum Jones the only one not to have scored so far for Sheffield. Bit of a surprising stat. Mackie McKnight, he's deadly from 3-point range, but doesn't make that one, and Sean Murphy takes the rebound. Fletcher between the eye of a needle, and is fouled as he goes up. In total control of the ball. So 5:46 to go. Eagles lead 90-67. The crowd's got to be delighted with this. Brings Justin Gordon back on. Evan Maxwell takes a seat. Massive applause from his...
Coach McLeod probably be thinking, well, I've seen Evans give me a good show. Let me see a little bit more of Justin Gordon in the final quarter.
I was going to make me really bad joke, but I've decided not to.
Oh.
Because I think only me and you would understand. I was going to say,
okay.
Maxwell seems to be having a nice blend. Fletcher makes the free throw. Yes, there'll be someone who'll understand that, and quite a lot of the youngsters won't. I couldn't even say whose house, Maxwell's house. Fletcher makes both from the line. It's going to be a timeout for Sheffield. So, just have a quick look down the scores again. Fletcher made both of them. That'll take him to 14 points, 6 assists. Leading the way for the Eagles is Evan Maxwell with 19 points and 4 rebounds. Cortez Edwards has 13 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists. Justin Gordon has 13 points from 5 rebounds. Darius Defoe has 12 points and 5 rebounds. For Sheffield, Nick Lewis has 20 points. Mike Tuck has 11. Antoine Lidor has 9. Bennett Koch has 8. Rebound wise, they have Lidord, Nichols, McKnight, Koch, and Marsden all on 3 rebounds. The efficiency for Eagles going through the roof at the moment.
Yeah, one thing I think that's quite pleasing. Obviously, we've seen Cortez Edwards give a pretty good display offensively, but I also think he's given a good performance defensively. I think what he can bring to the Eagles' backcourt defence is going to be very important this season. I noticed one of the stats you showed me earlier was that I think he was 5th in the league last year for steals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nick Lewis. Rob Marsden against Louis Sayers. Out to Leonard. Nice head fake. Drives inside. That's going to be a foul on Sauve Kande. Foul on Sauve Kande. Yeah, Cortez had almost averaging 2 steals a game last year. Does he say 5th in the league? Rex Flugler back on for Ramon Fletcher. Leonard from the line. Knocks the first one down. Misses the second, and Justin Gordon picks up the rebound. Not very good space in there. 3 Eagles almost in the lane. Here's Flugler. He saves to bounce the ball off his ankles. Finds Murphy in the corner. Kande for 3. That's off.
Yeah, good ball movement there and a good part played by the 2 youngsters as well.
Yeah, Murphy found Kande nicely, and Kande wasn't frightened to shoot it. Didn't quite make it. Justin Gordon didn't quite get the rebound, but Sheffield come away with it. Ball in the hands of Mackie McKnight to Marsden. He faced up Sayers outside Antoine Leonard. That one's off. Rex Flugler gets up and takes the rebound. Sean Murphy back to Flugler. Sayers setting the screen. Nice play by Flugler. Oh, that deserved a basket, really. Nice reverse pass from Flugler. Good work between him and Sayers, but it didn't go though. Certainly the ball movement's been a lot more fluid from the Eagles than it has been from Sheffield this half. Ball down low to Marsden, who's faced by Sayers yet again. Marsden this time gets the better of Sayers, manages to lay it in off the glass. Eagles lead by 22 to 92-70. Sean Murphy, Sayers, Gordon, Flugler. Thought about giving it to Kande. Good. Nice floater from Flugler, but doesn't go.
Yeah, good move, good penetration. Just lost concept of where he was on the floor in terms of floating the ball into the basket. Right shot to take though as well, because the defense was just simply backpedaling away from him.
So Eagles 3:56 to go. Eagles lead 92-70. Coach McLeod probably smiling through the mask. My wife taught me today how people smile through their masks. You've got to look at their eyes, and McLeod's eyes are sparkling at the moment. Lewis for 3, that one's off. So Kande takes a really good rebound and is fouled by Mackie McKnight as he tries to break away. I think it's been a big bonus for the Eagles. It's been their youngsters as well tonight, Dave. Obviously, pre-season, you've got to try and give people minutes to see whether they're going to be capable during the season.
The one I haven't seen before is Sean Murphy. He showed some pretty good understanding of a role in terms of the movement and spacing he takes up and the way he moves the ball, and particularly what he does after he's made the pass.
August well for him. Oh, that's a hard pass from him.
That's the cross-court pass I don't like them making.
Oh, there's a great block from Louis Sayers, but he just, well, he can't have it all the way. It was a great block, but the ball did go out of bounds. Did stop the basket though. Yeah, that cross-court pass was a bit too easy to pick off, really, from Flugler. Lewis will shoot the 3. No, he doesn't. That's a clear foul from Sayers. Eagles in the penalty.
I agree with you, it is, but in terms of where we're at in the game, it didn't actually stop him making his move.
Yeah.
He probably took the advantage away from what he was trying to do.
Yeah, understand.
Although, of course, the fact that the Eagles are in the penalties got him to the line. And at this point in the game, Sheffield will just be pleased with and get points from anywhere.
Lewis, game high, 22 points. Candy going to drive to the basket. Doesn't quite make it, but Flugler was there to tip it, didn't get it, but Sheffield come away with it. McKnight, nice pass out to Lewis. Lewis drives inside, up for the floater, gives it inside to Marsden instead. Nice basket from Sheffield.
Yeah, terrific spot there from Nick Lewis. Good positioning by Rob Marsden as well.
Lewis. Be interested to see if Sheffield did come back with it. It's still 2:45 to go. Whether McLeod would take the youngsters out or not. Cortez Edwards is coming back in. Justin Gordon is coming out. I noticed both Darius Defoe and Andrew Lasker have moved away from the bench and are now sitting in the stands.
Yeah, they're leading the cheerleading.
They've clearly decided they've done enough for the night, and
yeah.
we know all about them.
I think Coach McLeod knows enough about Darius and Drew.
Louis says first free throw is a miss.
He obviously wanted another quick look at Cortez Edwards, but I think Coach Ian, that you'll be fine. I think you'll be happy with him.
Lewis for two. That's well short. Sean Murphy picks it up, then dances around Callum Jones and decides to go all the way into the basket. Missed it. Rex Flugler though there for trail.
He's active, isn't he? He's
very,
active.
very active.
Yeah.
Very smart. Maybe not so much with his hairstyle, but I'm sure I'm going to have some fun with that hairstyle. Marsden. Lewis was thought about the long three, took a step in and shoots the three, doesn't make it. Bennett Cock gets a good offensive rebound, and as he goes back up, Louis Sears almost chops him in half on the arm. I think Ian McLeod's going to be really pleased with the way he's managed to share the minutes around. All 12 of his players getting, sorry, all 11, because obviously Temba Yabantu's not playing. Bennett Cox. I think the Eagles fell asleep there, Dave. I think they thought there was two from the line. Because it was a horrible free throw from Bennett Cock, but he got his own rebound and laid it in. 95-78 inside the last 2 minutes. Sauve Kande, Louis Sears, Sean Murphy, back to Kande. Kande, oh, turn, spin, flicks him. That's going to be a walk, is it? Yeah, giving us a walk.
Oh.
Well, if it hadn't been given us a walk, it had the whole bench up.
Is he the only one not to score, is he?
Yep, the only one not to score. He almost had it there. A lot of confidence though in the way he approached it, attacked the basket, spin move. Callum Jones, Nick Lewis tried it out on the youngster. Rex Flugler takes over guarding duties. Sean Murphy doing a good job of blocking Rob Marsden. Nick Lewis eventually gets his shot away. Foul is on Rex Flugler. Another one of the Eagles on 3 fouls. Evan Mack. Nick Lewis racking the points up. .4 points personal. Edwards brings the ball up for the Eagles. 1:10 to go. The Eagles lead 95-80. Edwards to Flugler. Flugler drives into the corner to Corv. Sauve Kande. 3 points just off. Foul again. Two shots for Lord. He has made double figures now. If he makes these two, he'll take him to 12. Makes the first. 47.5 seconds to go. Makes them both, takes them to 12 points personal. Almost stolen by Antoine Ledon and Edwards there. Edwards looking for the Eagles. Eagles slightly misread that. Both the youngsters cut right across the middle when Cortez Edwards was looking to give one of them a pass in the corner. Good defense though by Antoine Lillard, who certainly has come to life in the second half. Flugler into Edwards. Edwards, 6 seconds left. Murphy for 3. That one's just off. Flugler gets another offensive rebound. Eagles can set it up. Flugler decides to go all the way to the basket himself. Doesn't make it, but is fouling good to the basket. And he'll go to shoot 2.
Well, he had to get the shot off because the 24-second clock had almost ticked away.
So we've got 15 seconds left. Rex Flugler on the line for 2. Overall thoughts, Dave?
Well, I mean, it's a comfortable win for the Eagles. Better team, I think, over the 40 minutes. Good to see that they went into the dressing room at half-time and came back out in the same manner they started the first quarter, because the first half, because they certainly didn't end the first half very well. But we all know it's early days. I mean, I think last year, the Eagles beat Sharks comfortably pre-season, then look what happened in the season. But I think he'll be quite happy with the new players. Certainly, I think the guy with the ball right now has had a really good game.
Cortez Edwards.
Yeah.
He will be the man that finishes the game off. Eagles win by 96-85. Just let the stats catch up and then we'll give you the stats from the game. But I think Dave's pretty much summed it up nicely there. The fact that I think Eagles will be very pleased with that. And Sheffield at times were very good and at times couldn't cope with the Eagles' movement, but at times showed a lot of spirit and comeback. And certainly got a star player in Nick Lewis. And Antoine Lillard really did well as well. Now we're deciding what to do, just sort of like
New social distancing, their players wave to each other from opposite ends of the floor.
Rex Flugler's man was leading this, and so what they've decided to do is just applaud each other instead. They were going to go and bump elbows, but they didn't. And then just so final score of 96-85. Just to run down the Eagles' scorers. They were led by Evan Maxwell with 19. Ramon Fletcher had 14. Cortez Edwards 13. Justin Gordon 13. Darius DeFore 12. Rex Flugler 8. Louis Sayers 7. Eddie Matthew 5. Drew Lasker 4. And Sean Murphy 1. The rebounds high for the Eagles was 6 for Rex Flugler and 6 for Justin Gordon. Assists 7 for Cortez Edwards and 6 for Ramon Fletcher. For Sheffield, Nick Lewis top scorer. He was top scorer in the game, 24 points. Antoine Lillard finished with 15 points. Other players in double figures were Bennett Koch with 12 points and Mike Tuck with 11. Rebounding wise, Rob Marsden had 5. Bennett Koch had 5. And on the assist side, was Callum Jones had 5 assists. So Eagles win by 96-85. Hopefully this will not be the last time you hear me, although you might want it to be the last time you hear me. Abuse from ex assistant coach Dave Forrester, who couldn't beat Sheffield last year. But it finishes 96-85. I hope you've enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it being here and been bringing it to you. Really good game and nice way to start. And let's hope, fingers crossed, that we get the season underway in a couple of weeks' time.